Hey babes, it's your girl, the industry godmother Selena, and welcome to the Nails Are a Lifestyle podcast. This is your invitation into the elevated, intentional, luxury side of the nail world. Now get in here. Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of Nails Are a Lifestyle. Today we are here with Miss Kiki, the owner of Creations by Kiki. She lives in Durham, North Carolina. She's pretty much a celebrity stylist to me. She's a big deal. She definitely is, and we're going. She's here. She's going to tell us all about her nail journey, where she's going, where she's coming from. Because honestly, Kiki, one day I just looked up on Instagram and I saw you. But you were already doing so many things. I'm just like, I'm just not understanding like why I've never seen her before. So how long have you actually been doing nails?
If we are talking like just in life, just period, then it's been since high school, so about 2007, maybe 2006. And then license I've been for about 15 years now.
Okay, and so have you always been in Durham?
In my nail journey, yes, but my mother was in the Air Force, so this is basically our last stop since she's retired, and we've just been here. So I've lived out my adult life here, but in childhood, we moved around quite a bit.
Okay, so I can definitely tell you are a big deal in Durham. So how did your journey actually start? So I know like you were playing around. Like when did you decide to say, you know what, this is what I want to do? Like I want to be a nail tech.
Well, actually, what's funny about that is I never had plans on being a nail tech. I never had even the idea of doing nails as a career. I actually started doing it in high school. I started designing my own nails in high school because I just wanted to be different. Um,
Right.
a big moniker of my brand right now is unicorns and uniqueness and creativity. And back in high school when I was younger, I would go get my nails done, around the corner and be like, hey, can you do something you've never done before? So I could just be unicorn that I am.
Mhm.
They would do it and I go to school all happy and giddy, like, yes, I'm one of one. Then another couple girls will be like, hey, we're twins. And I was just like, oh no, love you, but don't want to be your twin for real. So let me see what I can scrape up. This was, back before gel polish was a thing. So
Right.
regular polish and acrylic paint. My grandmother, we were staying with my grandmother at the time. So she heard my woes and she was like, well, let's just go to, Sally's and Walmart and just grab some paint and some polish and some actual paint brushes out of the craft area at Walmart.
Yeah.
And let's just see what you do. So I was just like, okay, let me do a little, rigmarole and stuff like that. And I would go to school and the girls would be like, oh my gosh, like, girl, who did your nails? And I said, well, I didn't do them, but I painted them. And they were like, well, you want to paint mine? So I was like, sure. So at that point, I'm in the cafeteria, in the auditorium, after school in the gym, painting nails, literally.
What year was that, Kiki? Around what year?
This was the 2006, 7 era.
Okay.
Um, Towards the end of school, my grandmother came to me and said, well, hey, why don't we go find you a school so you can go become licensed and get all of the money and not half of the money, because I was only painting and designing at the time.
Right.
Like, you know what? That's a good idea. She literally took me that same day after school to a newly opened beauty school, and they had a special for the nail tech program for $1,000. It was just the whole program of $1,000. My grandmother paid it on the spot, and I started school very shortly after that.
So at that time, were there African American girls that were doing like the acrylic and designs in your area?
Not, no, not like talking about, but at the same time, I wasn't necessarily searching for that either. So in just the nail salons I went to, or what I heard, I didn't hear of any nail techs that look like me out here doing their thing. And
Mm-hmm.
not even saying that that was a driving force. I just wanted to be able to create and then get paid for it, you know? So in that nail program, it was a Vietnamese owner. And I think the only African American woman was the teacher for the hair side. And I went in there, and the rest of my class were, you know, of Asian descent, and I just, you know, kept my head down, did my job, or did my schoolwork, you know, made sure I had that together. And I actually got pregnant while I was in nail school at the same time. So I had to stop and put a pause. As soon as it got to bothering me, you know, physically and things like that, I was like, okay, let me put a pause on it. They allowed me to pause my schooling. I went the rest of my pregnancy, had my daughter, and then went right back to school, finished immediately after because I was very close to finishing in the first place.
Uh-huh.
And the first thing I did was I went and found a nail salon at a local mall in my area, high traffic commission salon. And I started in there, and it's just been kind of a snowball effect since then.
So was that a Vietnamese-based salon in the mall?
No, I want to say that was all American in there. It was people of all colors.
Time frame, because I know here in Maryland in the 90s, like all that, if you wasn't Vietnamese, you could just actually just do the nail art in their salon. So that's how we actually became popular and started doing. They would do the acrylic, but they would hire us to do the designs. Did you guys have that over there?
Mm, I cannot remember seeing anybody of color in the nail salons that I went to before I started doing nails. Now, coming out of school, there were trickles of us starting to pop up, but we were actually just doing the whole thing. It was very hard though, and I still hear to this day speaking to a few of my students, but it's very hard to even break into an Asian salon as an African American woman. Um, so I want to say it's no, I didn't see too much of that down here, but
Okay.
I wanted to create. I mean, I ended up wanting to create a space for that to happen.
Now you said your first salon was in the mall. So take us to the journey of that. So you worked in the mall, and then how long after working for someone else did you say, you know what, I think I want to do my own thing? Like how did that come?
Well, I think I lasted about maybe 8 months in that first salon. Um, I went through the process of, you know, being the new tech, but now keep in mind, I only have my manicurist license, so I'm only licensed to do anything with nails, right?
Okay.
My first boss in that first salon at that mall, she would, you know, go about her day earlier than she should have. Let's say that.
Mm-hmm.
She's out the door. So they would come in and see me sitting there and say, hey, well, my appointment was with so and so, but they're not here. So can you do my nails, or can you do my eyebrows, or can you wax, or, you know, do whatever? So I was actually in that salon doing things I was not supposed to be doing because I was the only one left there. And then it got to a point where my boss was going through some personal things at home. So she entrusted me to basically manage the shop without being the manager, like having the manager title.
Right.
I was doing that. That lasted for a month or so. And then all of a sudden, she just kind of flipped the script on me and made it seem as if she couldn't trust me, or I was purposely making her clients feel like they had to come back to see me, or they had to, you know, do whatever with me because I gave them my card after doing their nails after she missed their initial appointment. So
Okay.
a lot of tension had started, not coming from me. You know, I'm fresh and I'm new, and I'm trying to learn, and I'm trying to, you know, build myself and my skills and everything. So it kind of all came to a head. I remember it was the last 3 days that I worked there. She had got into it with me over something that wasn't necessarily, you know,
Your
my
fault.
my fault. I'm gonna say my fault. And then after that first day, I was like, well, you know what? I just had my baby. I just got a new car. The money was good, you know, getting paid weekly, like that was good. I said, you know what? Let me just bite the bullet. And I don't have to, you know, be friends with my boss. I just need to go and do my job, and then leave the premises,
Right.
go about my day. So I said, okay, we'll pull my big girl panties up, and do my work and then just go about my day. So I went back in the second day, and it was more issues and more problems that weren't even under my wheelhouse. So I was like, okay, after that day was over, I said, okay, I'm gonna give it one more good try, one more good little push. So that third day I went in there just in my head saying, okay, I'm just gonna keep my head down, do my work, and I'm gonna go. And
Right.
me keeping my head down happened to be an issue for her at that time. So she waited till everybody left the shop and then just kind of laid in on me about really personal things that she may have heard me talking about to whoever I was talking about them to, but she just tried to throw them in my face. And her tone was giving like parent to child. So I was like, you know what? It's all right. I'm just gonna go. It's fine. Like, I'm just gonna go. And I made a decision that day that while I knew I was not ready to have my own space or my own shop, I knew that that was my end goal, was to have or curate a space where not only it's comfortable for the clients, but also a teamwork kind of situation with,
Yes.
coworkers and things like that. So because I knew I didn't have the finances or anything like that to get that started, my grandmother and my mother had purchased a nail table from, Amazon or wherever it came from. And my mom let me set up in her living room, like literally in her living room, a little nail area for me to practice on my family, on my friends, on what have you. At the same time as me doing that at home, I went from that first shop to a second salon. The first one was just nails and waxing and things like that. The second one was a full service salon where I was one of two African American women in there, and the only nail tech. So they only had one nail tech at a time. They weren't doing any acrylics. They weren't doing anything like that. It was strictly shellac, OPI. A lot of bath going.
Yeah.
Um,
C&D.
a lot of that.
Mhm.
So my boss there actually took me to the nail supply in Raleigh and let me just kind of pick out whatever I needed to offer whatever services that I had, which was really nice of her. That was going from that high traffic commission salon getting paid weekly to now salary pay, getting paid 2 weeks plus tips. It was a very big difference for me.
So you were getting a salary plus tips
Mm-hmm.
every 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how many people you did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And that change of pay rate really like hit me hard. So it took me maybe 6 months in there to just decide that, okay, I need to figure out something else because I'm just not moving as fast as I would like to move. And then on top of that, I was doing a lot more natural services when I wanted to do like acrylic and really bold art. I was
Mm.
getting, all the medical professionals and the Duke students, and they weren't going for, this right here. Um,
Yeah.
so about 6 months in there, I ended up leaving and actually going to Raleigh to a booth rental salon. I had My mom had took me to the nail supply with my money. I got all of the things that I needed. This was my first booth rental situation where I had to supply all my own supplies. And I worked in there for maybe 6 months is just like my threshold, I guess.
I see.
Yeah, so I was in there for about 6 months. And at the same time of me being there, that is when I started working as a cocktail waitress at a few nightclubs in the area as well. And I did this to help me get more comfortable talking to people, being more outgoing, being more, extroverted, so that the introvert that I normally
Now,
would.
I was getting ready to say the salon that you just left, the one on salary. Now, I understand like that wasn't your cup of tea as far as the style of nails, but what do you feel like that you learned the most? Because it seems as though they had a nice flow of traffic. You were
Mhm.
really practicing. So, what did you feel like that you learned from that situation?
Mm,
Besides, you didn't want it, but I'm sure you learned some stuff.
no, I mean, I want to say I definitely make a point for every step of my journey to end up being lessons to be learned in the end.
Mhm.
And there, I could say I've learned to communicate with clients and have good communication and good customer service. Being that it was just me in the room with the client, and there was nobody to kind of play off of as far as like the salon floor, the
Yeah.
camaraderie of the salon floor. I definitely learned to become more comfortable teaching my clients about the things that were going on or the things they should look out for if they were to not come back to see me so that they can move better in the future when it comes to the health of their nails.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
Okay. So let's go to your booth rental situation because it seems like that's where it took off.
Yeah, so the booth rental situation, like I said, is where I started becoming a cocktail waitress at the nightclubs on the weekends. So I was doing nails during the day and then getting off, changing my clothes, dolling myself up and then going to work and, be a bottle girl at night. Um, that I actually did that for 8 years straight. So
Not 6 months.
no, not 6 months. I did fall in love with that, and it was a good connection between me and celebrities who were coming to host the club, the weekend, whatever the case may be. So I kind of was able to wedge myself in between there. So if the entertainment ever needed anything done for nails, they were calling Kiki saying, hey, we got Cardi B or we got Cash Doll or we have, whoever the celebrity was at the time, I was able to kind of insert myself in there. So I would be the first call that they made.
Okay. So who have you done? Who have you done so far?
So if we're talking through the club connections, a lot of love and hip hop celebrities actually.
Mm.
Celebrities. So Strawberry Diamond, Lyra Galore, Tahiri, Duchess from Black Ink. I was able to have my foot in a very good.
Now, in those situations, are they coming to the club to get their nails done? How's that working?
Well,
I mean, not the club. Where are they getting their nails done?
no, I would end up meeting them at their hotel or wherever they were staying for the weekend or the night. And I would have my little kit and caboodle of all my nail things and get them taken care of.
Okay. So do you like, I mean, when I used to travel, I felt like I got burnt out quick. I didn't really like it because I feel like they always call at the last minute and then you're rushing. And I understand they always like have your little standby kit together, but it causes me a lot of anxiety because I always be feeling like I'm forgetting something and all because you don't really know what they want and what they need. I mean, did you like that? Do you like that?
I mean, I can't say that I like or dis that, but I can say that I have had that experience as well. It's always one thing that is really small but really important that I forget. For example, I think this was Strawberry Diamond's nails one night, and I did not bring my nail glue, which is like,
Crazy, right?
yeah, because what are we gluing with?
Not the nail glue.
So depending on where I was at, I'm really um I make sure that my connections with other people are solid. So I could just call a nail tech that I knew in the area and be like, "Hey, girl, I need some help. Like, I just need a little nail glue, a little primer, a little acrylic brush, just something, help your girl out." So I was able to kind of navigate through those tough times by phoning
Gotcha.
call.
So are salon suites popular in your area, or is that something that's just coming up?
Now they are very popular. Yes,
So what do you have? Salons. What do you have?
I have a salon. I want to say it's about 1,500 square foot salon. I am interested in doing salon suites in the future. I'm kind of playing around with figuring out if I want to open my own salon suites, but it is very, very, very popular in this area, at least.
So do you think that now I'm just going to say just looking around at the beauty industry, so we're going to talk about nails, hair, barbers, and all that. Do you feel like I don't know about your city, more people are navigating to going into a salon suite than working in a full service salon now than working in a salon over
I
there?
I would think so. Yeah, a lot of people really want to be their own boss, or be in control of everything around. I don't recommend doing so. Like, I think that the salon environment itself is just very teachable. It's just a nice space to be in when you are around like-minded individuals, professionals who you can play,
Yes.
learn from, ask questions, get your questions answered. I like that. And especially people coming straight out of school, like I do recommend that they start in a salon so they can build their skill and their speed and their customer service and their communication with before having to worry about everything that comes with having your own salon suite or your own salon as far as overhead and bills and products and supplies and everything. I definitely recommend to just,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely know that social media makes them feel like, oh, well, I'm a content creator and let me get my own salon suite so I can record all of this and all of that. And I'm just like, can we just get the basics together first? Like I know you know the new nail trend. I know that you're watching YouTube University. I understand that. But there's so much that goes into the business of nails that I just feel like people are constantly missing. But I get it. I definitely get it. How many nail techs do you have in there with you?
6 right now, but
Oh, wow.
I have 8 stations.
And how long have you been there?
I've been in this building since 2014. I've been in this suite right now since 2021. So the same thing as before with my 6-month threshold. Um, I came in the building after my first suite on my own, after not agreeing with the landlord I had at the time about a vent in the room, and being told that I wasn't going to make it, girl. I was not going to make it far in life with my business or whatever. So I ended up renting out a very small, almost closet size space in this building. After about 6 months, I linked up with a tattoo artist from the area and we created Tips and Needles, which started out as a nail and tattoo studio with just me and him.
Hmm.
So we moved from my little closet suite to across the hallway, which was a room size suite. And after that, people kept asking me if they could come work with me, if they could come learn with me. So I took on 1 apprentice and then 2, and then they started working with me. He did the same. So now we have like a full running situation where it's half tattoos, half nails. I want to say that lasted almost a year, or maybe a year. Probably lasted a year. That was 2017. 2018, that tattoo artist decided that he wanted to do his own thing. So
Uh-huh.
and I flipped everything over to just nails. So it went from a completely black painted salon with graffiti everywhere, looking like a tattoo area, to I flipped it and painted everything light purple and pink and blue and yellow. And it was just really light and colorful in there. As soon as I did that, I actually got into a really bad car accident December 2018, where I shattered one of my legs, my right
Oh,
arm
no.
fractured. They had to, bring me back. Right after when they took me to the hospital, they had to bring me back, and then it was a month or so of me in the hospital waiting, and then getting surgery on my leg. And then rehab. I had to learn how to rewalk. I had to do all that good stuff, and then I finally made it back like full time. Because throughout that process, because I will say it was very depressing for me to just not to be able to take care of myself or take care of
Yes.
I was doing. A lot of people were telling me that it was, the Lord's way of sitting me down, because I was doing a lot. I was doing a lot. I was driving back and forth from here to Charlotte, which is 2 hours away, working over there, doing nails, giving classes, working at the club, driving back here, doing nails, I was on the move. If you had to look,
But did you gain clarity at that time? Because that happened to me too. I had broke my ankle. So I mean, did you gain clarity at that time, or what? I know that you said because it sent you to a little depression as well.
it did.
So what did you get from it at the end? What did you get from it?
Um, if I'm being honest, I still
Don't say you don't know.
no, I'm not gonna say I don't know, but it really, I don't know, it just made me rework everything. So instead of me like being constantly on the move and everything like that, I started selling my acrylic brushes. That's one thing that I started doing. I started offering press-ons. I tried to fill those days of me just kind of sitting and recovering with things to do to keep my mind occupied, to keep myself or keep learning things in the industry, if that makes sense. I took a lot of classes,
Mm.
but yeah, the times that I just was kind of sitting there and not able to, do basic human things on my own, that was depressive. I am not going to hold you. It was.
Now, are you a Sagittarius?
I'm actually on my birthday is December 21st, so I'm actually on the cusp of Sagittarius and Capricorn. I say I'm a Sag, but
You a Sag.
yeah, I say I'm a Sag just
You a
because
Sag.
I like to be free and I like to, just like to be me. But I do think that my business side, it comes from the Capricorn side of that cusp because I am very much about my business and stand 10 toes down on making sure that my business is a-okay.
That's still a Sag. And I only been saying because I'm a Sag. I'm only saying that because when you keep saying every 6 months, and then like you like fresh and new, and like our brain just constantly keeps moving, like, gotta do this, gotta do this. Like the creative side is just bursting.
Yeah.
We will never be broke. That's one thing I know. Like we ain't gonna never be broke. Okay. All right, so you've been in the salon, you got 6 nail techs, 8 tables. I know you said you want to do salon suites. So what does the future for Creations by Kiki look like? Because you be on the move. So what does that look like for you now?
I want to in the future open a continuing education school. Um, I love teaching and I feel like I do it very well. The feedback that I get is I teach very uniquely. And I would love to be able to offer a place where I'm able to freely, give the info that I'm trying to give, whether it's on nail art or professionalism or branding or marketing or, prep and application, all that good stuff. So I definitely want to have a space that's actually big enough for me to still have my salon situation I have right here. Maybe not as big, but maybe 3 to 4 tables so that I can still get that camaraderie that I love. But
Yeah.
want enough space for me to offer a couple of suites and have my space for my continuing education school as well.
You need some land, honey. That's what it sounds
Yeah,
like.
real estate, but he will provide. And I'm just going to sit here and appreciate what I have and make the best of what I have and not try to, you know, worry so much about the things that I feel like I'm behind on or the things that I want that aren't in my grasp at the moment, because I know that that is something that can get a little depressive for me as well, just speaking personally. So right now I'm just focused on just making what I have the greatest it can be.
But I promise you, you're not behind. I know sometimes that internal fight will make us feel like that, but you guys have to understand, like, the more that I'm interviewing everybody, and I know a lot of the people that I'm interviewing, like, everybody has their own blinders on because everybody really is doing something different, trying to stand in the lane. And social media will make you feel like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. So not only are you doing your clients, you running a business. I'm sure you're selling products, you're doing content. Like, that's a lot. I feel like even just looking at you, I saw you the nail awards, looking at your page and talking to you now, like you're on pace. Like I don't want you to stress yourself out. I mean, you definitely have a reputable brand that's strong, so I do know when you do open up the school, it's going to be booked. That's not that's not even going to be an issue. And just like you said, like he will provide. Like I'm a witness of that. So congratulations right now. Because how far are you looking to do it? What you think? 5 or less?
I want to say 5 is a good number. 5, I feel like allows me to, do it in good time and not feel like I'm rushing towards something.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure the economy will be done flipped around by then.
Girl, won't it? Girl, won't it?
Yeah. It goes in cycles, all of this goes in cycles with just weathering the storm. Trying to stay positive. Like it's gonna pass. It's definitely gonna pass.
Agreed. I agree.
Yeah. How did you feel about the Nail Excellence Awards? What did you think about it in a whole?
Oh, girl, I loved it. It was awesome to just be in a space where nails were the highlight, and it wasn't a second thought or a lost thought in the night. Being around so many people that just embody the same ideals, embody the same uniqueness and creativity, like that was great. That was great.
Thanks.
I really applaud and congratulate you and your partner for that, because that's something that we definitely need, like, all the time. All the time. We are one of the most underrated, underdeserved groups in the beauty world, and we need more events and more spotlight on us and how hard we work, and how much work we put into what we do.
That's the mission. So a lot of times I ask people, when you first heard about it, did you feel like it was a real thing, or did you feel like it was fake?
When you first reached out, I was like, well, I said, well, this sounds great, but let me go and make sure that you know what I'm saying. But I do that with everything. Every email or message that I get about anything, I'm just cross checking, double checking, because the scamming is at a high rate now, right at this moment. Like, people are trying to fish, people are trying to steal and thieve, and just it's crazy. So I definitely do my due diligence when it comes to just double checking and cross checking and making sure that I'm talking to who says they're talking to me. If that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. We have to. We have to. We work hard for the coin, baby. So I get it.
Mm-hmm.
So again, Kiki, I want to thank you for coming on. Now, before we get off, I would like for you to tell the people, all the new nail techs coming in, you're going to give them some words of encouragement, and you cannot say keep going and stay motivated. So if somebody was new, so let's just say they wanted to be a celebrity nail artist, they just wanted to be booked and busy, or content creator, what advice would you give them?
And you said I can't say keep going and stay motivated, huh?
You're not.
Hmm.
And you can't say don't give up. You can't say that either.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say two things. You let me know my first thing is too close to what you just said.
Okay.
First thing I would say to new nail techs who want to become successful in this industry is to not be easily discouraged. To not let the lack of clients in your chair at that moment, or not let the fact that you might not be able to do what's asked of you in that moment, to not let that discourage you enough to make you want to quit.
Mhm.
I've seen it a lot, just in the nail techs in my orbit, that they have an idea of what it should look like or how fast they should catch on to something, and it doesn't go as fast as they want it to, and then they're just like, well, toss the whole thing away. I definitely preach very, very, very much that you need to keep your head on the prize. Like, keep your eyes on the prize. And I know that kind of sounds like, keep going and don't give up and keep stay motivated.
No, that's fine. That's
It is
fine.
saying that, but at the same time, it's like, know what your goal is, know and stick to the beliefs that got you started to do this, into doing this in the first place. Like me, wanting to be creative and wanting to be unique and the unicorn that I am. And as you can see,
I see.
hello, staying true to myself, staying true to what got me started into this, I feel like is a big reason as to why I am as successful as I am at the moment. Being genuine and being true to my ideals, but not just that, my policies, my business, and everything like that. So that's definitely the first thing. So was that all right?
Yes.
Yay. So my second thing would be to be teachable. Continue to be teachable. It's not a ceiling on knowledge. And if you feel like you know everything, then you probably should find something else to do, because it's never enough. Like,
Never enough.
I still am learning things from people, from brands, from life experiences. Like, it's never enough. And if you move with that in mind, then you will always just intake and retain lessons learned.
Okay. All right. So question, because you were there at the very first one, do you have any suggestions or anything that you would like to see at the next Nail Excellence Awards?
Hmm. Now we're talking about just overall,
Yeah,
or
just for overall experience.
for an overall experience. I think, and I wish that I have like a more specific answer, but just personally, I think that if you add um a moment in the night or the weekend where it may be like a dinner or a brunch or just a time for the educators and the honorees to all kind of sit together and network. Just I think a networking time.
So honestly, there was supposed to be one. So I think because so many people didn't believe that it was real, it was people that didn't believe it was real until the day, until they saw people in their stores actually driving to the place, right?
Mhm.
And then even the categories, like we literally had like 17 nomination categories, but people kept choosing the same ones because they just did not understand. But I think people understand now, so it'll be definitely be easier. But that is something that we plan to do. Like we wanted the actual hall to give like a mixer for everybody. But like we said, we're not even sure we're going to use that same venue next year. But
Really, that venue was nice.
it
It was
was,
confusing. It was confusing at first getting in there and getting around, but we figured it out by the last day. But
yeah.
wherever it's going to be, baby, just know that I'm going to be in attendance. So,
And make sure, and see, people have like the nominations were open for like 5 months.
mhm.
And people, I'm not sure, like again, I didn't know if they just didn't know and see it. But again, like we're working on that. We definitely gonna have a different marketing team this time, this go around. Like you said, a lot of the people now, you guys have so many people that's working in your salons. Like you guys need to nominate each other. Like nominate your crew. Tell them to nominate themselves, the customers. Like a lot of the clients, a lot of people were constantly getting renominated because of their clients. So like the people that knew about it. So,
Okay.
but I'm here for it and I'm ready for it.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
you'll have a lot more, traction. I feel like now that people see that it was indeed a real thing. Um,
Yeah, so absolutely. Because we got something else coming in between that. So
yeah, girl, I'm about to say, look, I got my nice heavy award right here on my desk, baby.
look how beautiful that is. The people need to know. They
Okay,
need to know.
real. It's real. Don't miss
Yes.
out on the next one.
Thank you, Kiki. That was so good. That was on point. That was on time. Thank you. All right, y'all. Thank you for sitting in with this interview with Creations by Kiki. And we will see you guys next week with another episode of Nails Art Lifestyle. Kiki, you going to say goodbye to the
And
people?
so much, Selena, for having me, number one. And number two, thank everybody for watching. I just cannot wait to continue to show y'all what I got going on over here.
Yes, absolutely. Okay.